What's up, nerds? We are your hosts. I am Jake.
And I'm Chad.
This week we are sponsored by Raise Energy Drinks.
We are also sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
This week we will be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
We'll also be talking about the latest episode of The Last of Us, now out now on HBO and HBOMax. So let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
Someday I'll get it.
Nerd.
Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Chadley, how was your week?
Well,
That's great. Mine
yep.
was. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
I mean, that's about it. I mean, I
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
didn't really do much. It was fine, I guess. I mean, we went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp together. That was fun. Yeah.
Right on.
That
Right
was.
on.
I don't think I really did anything else like this week.
Got a couple of job interviews, don't you?
Yep, I do have a
Exciting.
couple of interviews lined up,
Well,
so I'm stoked on that. Really excited about the one tomorrow. Uh, that date doesn't matter to anyone else.
yeah. Oh, sorry, my lumbar support was all jacked up,
Oh, it
but
must be nice.
that's good. Yeah, I'm happy for you. I hope you get it.
Yeah, be good. What about you? How was your week?
I went and saw Ant-Man. Other than that, not much. I moved a buddy of mine into his new house, which is pretty exciting for him. And it's kind of great for us because we got to get rid of some furniture that we didn't want here that we gave him, and we ordered, we went out and bought a new couch, and that gets delivered tomorrow. And one of the cool things that you kind of know is that I've been struggling with, but I almost have it done, is I'm building a fish tank into our wall in the basement. Um, Become a little more of a pain in the ass than I expected it to be, but I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
It'll be sweet
Other
when
than
it's
that,
done.
yeah, it's really just been a busy week of doing adult stuff. Haven't had a whole lot of time for nerd stuff other than Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair. Well, I mean, no other like big news to really even talk about. So let's just get right into our first sponsor so that we can start talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yes, our first sponsor is Raise Energy Drinks. Uh, Fantastic energy drink, 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 crash. If you don't like energy drinks, they have other things like pre-workout packets, cake in a cup, protein-packed pancakes, things like that. So listen up, learn how to save 15%. We'll be right back with you to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, and powered by their refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
All right, nerds, we are going to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. And before we get into this one, spoiler alert, we are going to ruin some shit if you have not seen it. So get the fuck out of here. Come back later. All
Yay!
right,
That
ready?
was enough time.
Yeah. Um,
First, before we get into it, what were your thoughts before we start breaking it down? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I did like it. I did. So I don't want to like my feelings on it to get misconstrued at all. I liked it. It was not as good as I was hoping it was going to be.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a
Yeah.
fun movie, but it did not
All right.
live up to the expectations. There are some other aspects that we'll get into that kind of like took away from it, I think.
Mhm.
And also, I know that it's kind of been like, depending on who you ask, it's either been a issue with how long Marvel films have been getting, or it hasn't been, depending, again, like I said, who you ask. This clocks in at
2 hours,
just,
5 minutes.
and that includes credit scroll.
Yeah.
So it's,
Shot.
it also doesn't feel like it's quite that short, but it was a short film.
Yeah. And there's not, I think for one of the things that slightly bugs me about it
I'm so
is
sorry.
we didn't get like a beginning and middle like action sequence like we're used to with Marvel. We got one action sequence at the end of the movie, and that's it.
Yeah.
The rest is just storytelling and spotty storytelling.
Yeah. So where do you want to start? I mean, because
Not where you wrote it down. We'll get it. We'll save that. I don't want to spend very much time on that. That's something
Yeah.
that personally bugs me on a personal level, not the actors, the actresses, or anything like that. It's just me. Now we have to talk about it. So the the actress that plays Cassie Lang, for starters, they switched the character from Endgame to this movie, which I thought was unnecessary and weird and kind of mean because the girl who played Cassie in Endgame thought she was starring in this movie, and they were like, nah, and then
Yeah.
hired someone else. Um, and I don't know her as a person, so I'm not going to trash talk her at all. I'm not going to. I'm going to trash talk the characters that she has played in the past that annoy the shit out of me that she very much carried into this movie. Her name is Catherine Newton. That's the actress. You seem like a nice person. I'm not being mean to you, I promise. My girlfriend made me watch Supernatural. Because I made her watch Smallville, and that was kind of the compromise. She was like, I'll watch Smallville if you watch Supernatural. And I was like, fine. She's in that show. And her character fucking makes my head want to explode. She's like this 5 foot something girl who wants to be a hunter like Sam and Dean, the main characters from Supernatural. But she sucks at it. And every single episode she's in, she is like, I can do this without your help. And sure as shit, she fucking can't, and they end up having to rescue her because she gets into a sticky situation. So it always annoyed me on Supernatural, every episode she was in. I was like, oh, great, it's going to be an episode with her. It's going to be fucking annoying. And that's literally the character she plays in this movie. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, maybe she'll be good at it. And it was literally like watching an episode of Supernatural where she is like, I don't need any help from anybody. And then she gets captured and they're like, oh, great. Now we got to go rescue her. And it was like, oh, cool. So we're watching Supernatural. She's the same person.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's like I said, it's a personal issue that I have with her characters, not her as a person. I don't want anyone to think that I'm being a dick to the actress, but the characters that she plays are always a victim, and it's super annoying.
Yeah. There also, I mean, I think we made fun of it from the trailer like
Oh
weeks
yeah.
ago. This I feel bad because like they make a point to like show that she's actually very intelligent
hmm
and she does have an understanding of everything that's going on, but then they give her just like cheap dialogue
Yeah.
and it's just like fully write the character. Like
Yeah.
I didn't think that her acting was bad. I just thought that the character wasn't that well written.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say, but like I don't have anything against the actress. Like she as an actress is doing just fine.
Yeah.
Her character sucks.
Yeah. Literally, I mean, the opening sequence or one of the opening the how they get into the quantum realm. It's like we created this thing, you know, so that we don't ever have to go into the quantum realm. It's just going to send a signal down there and kind of like work like sonar and it's going to like
Map it out.
map it
Yeah.
out for us. And then the machine kind of like freaks out. They get sucked into the machine. And then her first words out of her mouth are, "Where are we?" And it's like, you built the machine to map out the quantum realm. You got sucked into the machine knowing that it's sending signal into the quantum realm. I'll give you one guess. Where do
And
you
if you
think you
get it
are?
wrong, I'm punching you. Like, yeah.
That it just seemed like lazy writing. Like they just
hmm
wanted her to say something,
hmm
but they couldn't like give her something intelligent to say.
Yeah.
It was very frustrating. Oh, again, nothing against Catherine Newton.
Yeah.
She acted just fine in the film. I just think that her character was
We just
not fully written.
and something that Chad and I talk about often off camera is that we really enjoy a well-written female character. And when, especially with the pressure that's on for females in everything, like do better. Like the
Yeah,
writers, like do
yeah,
better. If you're gonna write a female character, don't dumb her down. Like write it better. Like
yeah,
they're like, and we know that Marvel can do it. Look at Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel was fantastic. I love that. I know a lot of people hated it. I loved that show. I thought it was super good. Captain Marvel. I don't really care for Brie Larson, but I love Captain Marvel. It was well written. Like it doesn't matter if the actress is, someone you like or not, as long as the
yeah.
character is written well, you can still enjoy it. And, I just feel like they kind of didn't write Cassie very well in this. It's kind of a
And
bummer.
not just Cassie. Uh, you know, Hope
Oh, we'll get into
Evangeline
that.
Lily's
Oh, we'll
character.
get into that. You
We
save
will.
that one.
However, Janet Van Dyne's character was written really well, and
Really
she
well.
was a
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
But it's like, so you can do it for one character, but having three strong women is too much. Like, we'll get into those things here shortly. Um, Another thing was like there were some characters that were only there for like comedic relief,
Yeah.
like the glob guy, and
Mhm.
oh, I should have looked this
He
up.
was kind of cool in the end. He was kind of cool.
Turns out he's just fucking Kirby,
Yeah.
just
Plus
inhales whatever.
he was important because drinking the juice that he produced or whatever made it so you could
Yeah, it
understand
was like a
all
universal
languages. It was actually
translator.
kind of it was kind like is kind of lazy writing to be like, hey, if you drink this, you can understand every language from every species, you know. But it was kind of cool so that because like it's kind of a pet peeve to like, oh, they all speak English, like how do they
Yeah,
all speak English if they're from outer space or they're from the quantum realm or like whatever. So it was kind of like a nice way to like at least give you
a
a
reason.
reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, as where some movies are just like, yeah, we're from space,
Star
2
Wars.
million. Yeah. And we all speak English or with British accents. And
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
why?
Um, and it was a bummer. William Jackson Harper's character, I didn't like. Again, he was used as a plot point. Like
Hmm.
he's a telepath, so
Hmm.
his only purpose was used up in the first like encounter with him was to
Hmm.
basically give Scott and Cassie credibility that they don't know why they're in the quantum realm. They don't know how they survived getting sucked down there. Like that was about it.
That was a good spot for that. Also like Bill Murray's character. You know,
There was a
he
lot
wasn't
of
in it very long.
there was a lot of hype behind him too.
Yeah.
Like that he
Yeah.
was gonna be in it, and
I mean, technically, they didn't show him die, so like maybe we'll see him like later on. Um, but in this movie, it was short-lived.
yeah, basically to it didn't really even further the plot. It just
All it did, it just showed that Janet was getting her freak on in the quantum realm with Bill Murray's character. Um,
also poor Bill Murray because now everyone knows that he's got a teeny tiny wang. Because he's also teeny tiny.
I get it.
Thank you. I'm ashamed of that joke. I'm so sorry, Bill Murray. Bill Murray's a fucking legend.
Continue.
Do so we don't want to like break down, the
Movie.
entire
Yeah.
plot points. But there are two end credit scenes.
Right. Right.
Well, before we get to those, let's talk about just Jonathan Majors, Kang.
Oh, probably the only thing holding this movie together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane.
Hmm.
Super powerful,
Hmm.
but also
Super handsome.
super handsome, but also just like very charismatic. And because of that, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like he's so charming. And for most of the movie, like even when he's like threatening,
Hmm.
like doesn't raise his voice.
Yeah.
It's like rest his soul if Prince was still alive and wanted to be a supervillain,
Hmm.
probably be the most terrifying person in the world
Yeah.
because he just doesn't raise his voice.
Hmm.
He'd be threatening your life and just be like, yeah, so this is what's gonna happen next. Like I'm just going to gut you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna make everyone watch. And it's like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah. He's very just like nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
Like if you don't do what I'm asking you to do, I'm gonna kill your daughter, and then I'm going to replay that moment over and over and over again, so you have to watch it for the rest of eternity.
Yeah.
And Scott's like, but why?
But for why?
Yeah. Yeah, he's very scary. He is the Thanos level threat going forward.
Yeah.
As we know that the Avengers five, four,
And
five,
5 and
Avengers
6.
five, yeah, is going to end with Avengers: The King Dynasty, which is Jonathan Majors. So this is a big deal. His introduction well, not his introduction in this movie because he was introduced in Loki, season 1 first. But
Well,
I'm
a
just tripping
variant,
over
yeah.
myself. But yeah,
This is
big
the
deal.
first time that he calls himself Kang instead
Hmm.
of just like he who remains,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
the conqueror.
Yeah,
Fucking terrifying.
yeah. Pretty comic accurate. It was cool. The blue face, the purple. I
Yeah.
was loving it. Yeah.
And that it was instead of just like having him have just like a blue face, like they made it make sense so that he didn't have to just like be in body paint the entire time,
Yeah.
which is really cool too. And then also, I mean, we learned that he has history with Janet Van Dyne,
Hmm.
and that's
She got around down there in the quantum realm.
yeah,
Just kidding. They didn't do it that we know of.
maybe
She should have.
she missed an opportunity if she didn't.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Up in
basically,
each other's assholes. Sorry.
but she kind of like stranded him. Like she almost helped him. Like she was helping him when she was trapped in the quantum realm
To get out.
to get out because she wanted to get out, and then she realized that he's a fucking monster,
Hmm.
and was like, "Nope, I'll die down here."
Yep. Yeah. And she blew it up in the sense that she made it very big and veiny.
And
Rather
triumphant.
than, yeah.
Uh,
I'm not even gonna apologize anymore.
no, no,
Uh,
no need to.
it it was a lot. It was a fun movie. Don't let us, talk you out of it. Check it out. Kang
Yeah,
was awesome. Paul Rudd, you're a fucking immortal god
yeah.
among men. Um,
Janet kicks
Janet
ass.
Van Dyne
The end.
is awesome in
Michelle
it.
Pfeiffer just
Yeah.
aged like
Michael
fine
Douglas
wine.
was awesome in it.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, there were a lot of really, really, really good things in this movie. I wanted it to be a little bit longer. The storytelling could have been a little better.
so much of the
Um,
story focused on like Janet
mhm.
in
Which is fine because like she lived in the quantum realm for 30 years. Like
yeah, but
it
also a
should.
lot of it
It sh
wasn't like flashbacks. It was just kind of like her like eluding the question of what happened,
Yeah, that was kind of annoying.
except for
And
like a
then
10-minute
yeah,
thing about Kang. But
and then
everything
it's like
else,
finally just like, well, this is what happened, and it's like, well, why didn't you just tell us that from the beginning?
yeah,
Like there was no like, you know, like there was no embarrassing like story behind what happened. Like there's no reason she should have been keeping it from anybody. Like
yeah,
once they were in there, like I get it, like she was trying to put it all behind her, like now that she was out of there and she didn't want to talk about it. But once you got back there and everyone's like, "Hey, what happened? Hey, what happened?" And she's like, "I don't want to talk about it." It's like, "Bitch, spill the beans. We're
we're
in
here.
here.
Yeah,
You lived here for 30 years. Fucking tell us what's going on."
yeah.
And then when she did, it was like, why
Oh, you
would
mean you
you?
continued to be a hero to like save
Yeah,
everyone? Why
oh,
are
yeah.
like
So frustrating.
yeah?
It was, again, it was a good movie.
And I don't like I don't even mind that she was like elusive to it. It's just that so much of the movie like revolved around that plot point,
Mhm.
and with the length of the movie, like either cut that part down and give us more
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, or make the movie a little bit longer and
We
give
didn't
us
even
more
get
Ant-Man and
Ant-Man
the
and the
Wasp.
Wasp. But we got
Until we
Ant-Man,
got a little bit at the very end.
yeah, a little bit of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and a little bit of Ant-Man and his daughter. I don't know
Yeah.
what you call her. Wasp Junior, larva.
I think in the comics, she's had a couple of names
Is
like
it larva?
Stinger and
Maggot.
Maggot and Stature, I think.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I don't know
Oh,
what
my
they're.
camera is like lagging. Sorry.
Oh, it's not on my end.
Oh, it's not? Oh,
No.
okay, then who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Um, I do. All right. I gotta say this is one thing that really bugs me is Hope, and I'm gonna sound like such like a. I must sound like I'm sexist, but this is what bothered me about her, and it's not just this movie. It's been an ongoing thing. In the first movie, the first Ant-Man movie, she's jealous that her dad Hank picked Scott to be Ant-Man instead of her. And the entire first movie, she treats Scott like shit because she's jealous. Then in Ant-Man 2, she's jealous that Ant-Man got to help Captain America and Scott didn't call her to back him up. So she is jealous again and treats him like shit the entire movie. And then in this movie, like right out of the fucking gate, her, Hope, Scott's daughter, and Hank are like working together behind Scott's back. And that's what gets them all sucked into the quantum realm. And when Scott finds out about it, he's rightfully so pissed. And Hope is kind of like a total bitch to him about it. Like, you know, when they're at the dinner table and
Yeah.
he's like, whoa, 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 you guys have been working like on stuff behind my back. I don't want Cassie in this fucking line of work because it's dangerous. And they're like, oh, you don't know what she can do and what she can handle. And the first thing she does is get all of them sucked into the quantum realm. And it's like, okay, well, that's what you get for recruiting a teenager uh to do shit like this. And so I think Hope in the comics, she's not a bitch. In I almost said the show, the movies so far, she has been terrible. And
Yeah.
Evangeline Lilly, who plays the Wasp, is campaigning for a solo movie, and I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah. I mean, down the road, if they start writing Hope better, I'm all for it.
Yeah. We like well-written female characters.
Just not even female, just well written characters.
No, I'm saying female characters because
Well,
the two
because,
people that I shat on in this movie
yeah.
are both female, and I'm like, well, I feel kind of like a
Yeah.
dick. But it's
It's
not
just,
because
unfortunately, most of the time,
yeah.
they're not written by women.
Hmm.
They are, they're written by men, and they're like, how do we make strong, independent
Yeah.
characters that don't need no man?
Yeah.
Like,
Let's make her
and
a bitch.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like overconfident, rude, standoffish. It's like you can give them compelling emotions and let them just be strong, like Miss
Gamora.
Marvel.
Oh, I was gonna say Gamora.
Yeah,
Gamora is one of my favorite characters. Nebula. Nebula is my favorite female character in the MCU. Like, to this day, I love Nebula. She's fucking hilarious. She is a badass. She's strong. Like, she doesn't take shit from anybody. Like, I love her character. Well, except for her dad. She's got some issues there. But,
yeah, but daddy issues can be fun.
yeah.
It's just, but she's compelling also because she resists the urge to show her emotions, but when
Hmm.
she does, they're like deep and complex and
Hmm.
just well written.
Yeah.
Like, just do
More
that.
of that. Yeah. More of that. Please.
Let's talk about the end credit scenes now.
Yep. Couple big things. One, this is something I won't take credit for. I saw it somewhere else, and then I was like, "Holy shit, you're right." Um, the portals that the Kangs use to arrive in the first end credit scene are excuse me, same portal that Reed Richards uses in Multiverse of Madness. Reed Richards is Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four, played by John Krasinski. But it's the same portal, and if you know a little bit, you already know, and if you don't, I'll explain it to you. Nathaniel Richards is a variant of Kang, and Nathaniel Richards, hence the last name, pay attention, is Reed and Sue's son. A variant of Kang is the son of Reed and Sue Richards. And I that could be kind of a plug with the same portal that they use. Don't know if they'll go down that road. It would be cool if they did. We do know Fantastic Four is coming soon.
Hmm.
Um,
And it's going to be a
and
pillar
and
going
with all
forward.
these variants, I mean, we'll talk about it in a second here. There's a shit ton of variants, the Council of Kangs. So one of them could very easily be Nathaniel Richards, and
Yeah.
so that was kind of cool. What else?
That was cool. I mean, and then we get a reference to, or not a reference, we actually see Ramatat,
Hmm.
which is cool because in the comics, that was the first encounter with Kang the Conqueror with the Fantastic Four.
Mm.
They ended up retconning Ramatut to actually be a variant of Kang later on, but I mean that was the first time that he was introduced.
That is one thing that differs from the comics to the movies. In the comics, they don't all look the same. All the like Ramatut, King the Conqueror, Nathaniel Richards, Iron Lad, a variant of Kang is Iron Lad. Not only do they not look like, some of them are different nationalities, stuff like that in
Yeah,
the comics. In the movie, all of them are going to be played by Jonathan Majors.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we do see some where like Ramatut uh, is a little bit like lighter skinned. We do see some alien versions, but it's still
Hmm.
very clearly like Jonathan Major's face, just kind of like distorted or
Hmm.
stuff like that. But it's cool that we get to see the Council of Kangs because I mean
There
that's
are a
going to
lot of Kangs.
play into one Kang dynasty
Hmm.
and also Secret Wars because
Hmm.
multiversal council of the most terrifying villain that we've actually seen.
Hmm. And just we didn't talk about this, but I just want to throw this out there. It's gonna be really cool. Uh, uh, holy shit! Tom Holland, just signed a new deal. I just read this today, with the MCU with Marvel, and he will be one of, if not the leading character in the Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man is going to step it up quite a bit in the next few years here,
Oh,
which
I'm
is really
so
exciting.
excited.
Because in the comics, he is eventually the leader of the Avengers.
Yeah.
So it's like really waiting for that to happen. I get he's young and but now after Nowhere or No Way Home, Nowhere Home, uh, we see he lost all his friends, he lost all of his mentors, and I'm straying from the subject at hand, but I'm very excited to see
Yeah.
Spider-Man in like a more leading role
Yeah.
in the
And I think
Avengers.
that he definitely deserves it.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, on the kind of on the topic, of Kang, Nathaniel Richards, Fantastic Four. I mean, he also in the comics is best friends with Johnny Storm,
Hmm.
from the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four. So it's cool that things are starting to like point in those directions.
Hmm.
Because also over the past couple of years, we've been getting like comic accurate suits,
Hmm.
all this stuff. It's just like they're,
Even Spider-Man's. Yeah.
yeah,
At the end of Nowhere Home. No Way Home. God damn it.
nowhere.
Why? I don't know what's happening.
uh,
Ah!
uh, anyways, I know that we shit on some aspects of this movie. It was enjoyable. I
Yeah.
do want to see it again.
Hmm.
And I mean, they're just little nitpicky things based on like our preferences more than anything else. You know,
And something I notice about myself is sometimes when I first see a movie and my expectations are high, I don't enjoy it. And then the next time I watch it after my expectations have been lowered, I really enjoy it. Like I saw Step Brothers in theaters and I thought it was the dumbest fucking movie I've ever seen in my
one
entire
of my
life.
favorite
I
movies.
shit you not. The first time I saw it, I was like, this is so fucking stupid. And somebody told me to rewatch it and it was after like years after it came out, and I shit you not, I was in tears. I was crying so or laughing so hard. I was like crying from laughing.
Yeah,
So, and I think it's because my expectations were like, this is gonna be the funniest fucking movie ever. And I
yeah,
went and saw it, and I was like, well, this is fucking stupid. And I watched it again, and I was like, this is the funniest fucking movie ever.
yeah,
Uh, so that could be what's happening here too. Like my expectations were like, I want this like big crazy cinematic experience. And really, this is like the first movie in this phase, and it's probably more of a setup kind of a movie than it is,
yeah.
what we're used to. Because at the end of the phase, we're beginning phase 4 right now.
Phase
So
five.
at the so at the end of phase 4, we got so much action because like it was ending that phase and
Yeah.
Now we're setting up Kang and build it. Like, remember
Yeah,
in when they first
now it's
introduced,
back to storytelling instead of
yeah,
like
and I think we're used to this. Sorry, this, and then because it's the first one in the phase, they've brought us here, and
yeah.
like we're used to just being like, oh, what the fuck? Like this isn't as I even said it in this episode that I was like, there was only one action sequence, and it was at the end. Like, god damn it,
Yeah.
like so. Cut the movie some slack. It is very fun. It was a very fun movie. I promise you, when I rewatch it, my mind will be changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about our other sponsor, Jake.
Oh yeah. Sorry, we're going there. Okay. Sponsor number two
Oh,
is Crybaby.
we didn't touch on the second end credit scene.
Oh, we didn't.
It's kind of setting up Loki season 2. Let's just
Yeah,
leave it
it
there.
was cool.
Loki, Mobius, and then we see a
Yeah,
variant of
it's
Kang.
nice that we get to see Loki and Mobius together because at the end of season one, Mobius has no idea who Loki is when he approaches him.
Yeah.
So they're clearly working together again, which means that they figure it out somewhere down the line. But they are watching basically a variant of Kang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost said a variant of Jonathan Majors, but
Same thing.
yeah. And I was like, oh, that's dope. Because I think that's the next thing we get. And then Guardians of the Galaxy? Or is it Guardians
I
then
think
Loki?
Guardians then Loki.
Then Loki? Okay, cool.
And
So,
then eventually the Marvels, but that was pushed back.
yeah. Only by 4 months. It's not like
Wow, you actually like counted the right number of months this time.
I did that as a joke.
I know.
Um,
Tell them about
anyways,
this.
sponsor number two. It's Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. Listen up, we'll tell you more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. Okay, friends. So we're going
This
to
is
talk.
the Earth.
This is the pretty sweet Earth, you might say. It's round. Uh, we're going to talk about the latest episode of The Last of Us, which is episode 6.
I almost held up 7.
First off, smart. Smart. Spoiler alert for those that haven't seen it yet. That's it. So
Giant spoiler alert, because not only are we going to talk about this episode, we have a couple theories based on video game clips that we've seen online, and we are going to explore that a little bit. Excuse me, in this episode. So if you don't want to know what happens in the video game or in this episode, tune out, tune back in.
Yeah. That's enough time.
Yeah.
All right, everybody die. No, I'm just kidding. The show ends here. No. I mean, they make it to Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, does this show have fantastic cinematography?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
holy
Other than
shit.
somebody pointed out online, there is
There's
a scene where
a
you
crew
can see
member.
the camera crew.
Yeah. Just like poking out from the tree line.
Yeah. Other than that, fantastic.
I
cinematography.
didn't notice it in the episode. So
I didn't either. Yeah.
it's a blink and you'll miss it sort of moment, but yeah, kind of like the Starbucks cup from Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Or in House of the Dragon, where you just see the green tape on Patty Constantine's fingers because they forgot to edit it out.
I don't think I saw that. That's funny.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look that up. That's funny.
yeah, it's in like the third, maybe fourth episode of House of the Dragon. Anyways, the show is so good, man.
Hmm.
I A lot of people are mad that there's not a lot of infected in the show.
Yeah, it's
That's not
this
the
is
point of it, though.
this is kind. It's kind of this is kind of how I've explained it to a couple people that who have said that to me, that they're like, I like it, but I was kind of expecting more zombies, like blah blah blah. This is in my mind, the way that I play it out is it's I Am Legend, right? Not in the same sense, but in the fact that I Am Legend was about the meaning behind everything. It
Yeah.
wasn't about the vampires. It was about the meaning behind everything. At the flashbacks where his daughter is saying, "Dad, look at the butterfly," and then the girl who saves him and her son, the girl has a butterfly tattoo on the back of her neck. And uh, what the fuck is his name in that movie? I forget it. Will Smith's character basically lost his faith, like his Christian faith. And I know that we're not particularly Christians, but that's the point of the movie, is that he lost everything, including his faith. And when this girl shows up to save him, because he's like, after his dog dies, he's like, I'm fucking done. Like, I'm gonna kill myself. And she saves him, and they do the flashback. Dad, look at the butterfly, and she has a butterfly tattoo on the back of her neck. Then a lot of people missed it, but when the vampires are breaking into his clinic or whatever, the
Hmm.
glass breaks. When they slow it down, the glass breaks into the shape of a butterfly.
Oh,
And yeah, so that's what this show is. That it's more about the symbolism behind like everything, not the fucking infected.
yeah,
It's not
and
about the infected.
how humanity
Yes.
reacts to something on this grand of a scale that just cripples the world,
Yeah.
and how they move on from it, how chaos goes, how there's little pockets of hope.
Hmm.
They in this episode they come across an old couple living in the woods, and they'd been living there years before the breakout even.
Hmm.
Uh but they've managed to survive. They find a whole community that's living behind
Hmm.
walls and stuff like that in the middle of nowhere and thriving. They've got like a town hall, cafeteria sort of thing where they play movies on, weekend nights, and
I loved
there's
it.
a
It was very
school. And
much like a old school cowboy town, like
yeah,
that you would see in like a western. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Yeah, it was cool. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
bare like running on bare minimum. I mean, they have like electricity and stuff like that because
Mhm.
they're not too
What
far from
weren't
a
they using like
dam.
water?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was hydroelectric from the dam, and it's just you see, especially because the episode before we saw like the worst of humanity,
Hmm.
where they're willing to sacrifice everything for personal vengeance, killing a child, or
Kids. Yeah.
yeah, and all that. And then we see the exact opposite in this episode where there's a school,
Hmm.
there's kids running around playing games. It's a whole community living.
And Joel's brother.
Yeah, and this is where Tommy is.
Yeah.
Gabriel Luna plays Tommy, and
Ghost
man,
Rider.
their dynamic is oh yeah, the best Ghost Rider. Uh, their dynamic is so powerful.
It's sad.
It is sad, and
It's
there's
sad.
there's resentment and remorse, and
Did you catch the like it's kind of like, so remember in the very first episode, Joel has his daughter, and he's like a working guy, and he's got it all together, right? And he leaves to go pick Tommy up. Was it Tommy, right?
Yeah.
To pick Tommy up because Tommy's drunk and in jail. So Joel has to go pick him up. Now it's now it's flipped. And spoiler alert, now Tommy has got this community and he's got a wife and a pregnant wife at that with a baby on the way. And Joel is the one who's
Lost
uh,
everything.
lost everything and he's just broken and whatever.
And he even lies to
Say
Tommy
flipped.
about
Yeah.
Tess
How,
at the
yeah.
start of the episode says that she's fine.
Hmm.
She's she's doing okay, like she's doing fine.
Yeah.
Uh Probably because of that same dynamic of, he doesn't want to let it be known that how broken and destroyed he is.
Yeah. That being said, like, oh shit. Pedro Pascal can fucking act, dude. Like this, there's a
Holy
very emotional
shit.
scene between him and his brother, and it was like, Jesus Christ, dude, this guy,
This fucking guy.
this fucking guy.
Daddy Pedro turned into father.
Aw.
Father help.
Yeah, there's a scene in this community, and this is what I was talking about. And if any of you have played the game and know whether I'm right or wrong, feel free to let us know. Um, there's a scene, Jubes. No. There's a scene where Ellie is just like shoveling food into her mouth, and another girl comes over and kind of like gives her a dirty look, and Ellie kind of snaps at her. Um, I think. Okay, here's where the giant spoiler is. So if you don't want to hear this, you have about 5 seconds to get out of here, and then I'm gonna say it. Okay, saying it. Uh, I know that Joel dies
Hmm.
in game two, season two. He gets stabbed in the back. And it's by a very young looking female character. I think that this, again, I haven't played the game, so I don't know if this is true or not. This is my own personal theory. I think that this girl that is giving Ellie the evil eye is the girl who's gonna kill Joel. And I think that this next episode next week is gonna show why that girl does not like Ellie. Or
Okay.
maybe it won't. Maybe the girl, or maybe that girl, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that girl knows that Ellie has been bitten or something. I don't know. And she's out to kill her because she thinks she's infected or who fucking knows. I know that Joel dies. I know that a young looking girl does it. And there is a very awkward moment between Ellie and this random ass girl in this community. And I think that's the girl who's going to do it. That's all I know. And I don't even know
Yeah.
if I know because, you know,
Yeah. Neither of us have played the games. Uh.
I have it. I want to play it, but I don't want to ruin anything for myself other than the fact that I accidentally ruined the fact that Joel dies.
Yeah.
But that was an accident. I wasn't trying to find that out. I was like, oh, I'm watching this show. And I clicked on the clip and I was like, oh, no, I didn't
No.
want to know that.
Yeah. And this might not be as big of a spoiler, but through like, next week on The Last of Us, we know that this next episode is kind of a flashback,
Hmm.
focusing more on Ellie this time. Uh, I haven't watched the up next on The Last of Us, like the trailer for
Hmm.
the next episode, but I did hear as a rumor that Ashley Johnson was cast to play Ellie's mother.
Nice.
For those of you that don't know who Ashley Johnson is she's the voice of Ellie in the game. She also voices Pike in The Legends of Vox Machina, but
which we've talked about very
which we've
recently.
talked, yeah, very recently. But I I'm intrigued to learn more of Ellie's backstory. It just sucks that this episode ends on a major cliffhanger. And it's like, oh, sweet. So we don't know what happens for a couple of weeks now. uh, yeah, so Joel, Daddy Pedro, uh, tries to get Tommy, his brother, Gabriel Luna, to take Ellie to Denver from
Hmm.
Wyoming, because that's where supposedly the Fireflies are. That there's a medical center
They
there,
can
so that they can
use
use her
Ellie's blood.
blood to create a vaccine. There's a very emotional and kind of like heart wrenching moment between Joel and Ellie, and Joel ends up taking Ellie. Anyways, even though he's lost his confidence in himself. Uh,
He's slow. He's kind of deaf in one ear.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's suffering like panic attacks, nightmares, stuff like that, and he's just afraid that he can't protect Ellie the way that he wants to. They get to Denver, and your dog's just obsessed with the
I'm
door.
gonna put her in their fucking kennel in like 2 seconds. She's driving me crazy. I'm so sorry.
You're totally fine.
Can we pause? I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
you want
throw
to
her
do
in
that
her
right
kennel.
now? Yeah,
Yeah,
we could
it's
do that right
driving me
now.
nuts. Sorry, I'm like
You're fine.
overly distracted because she's just getting into everything. So sorry for the distraction. My dog was driving me crazy. I had to put her in a kennel for a little bit here. At least till we're done recording. Anyways, Tommy is supposed to take Ellie, and then Joel basically takes her anyway. He kind of like gives her like an option. Like I figured you'd have an option to go with me or him. And she's like, throws her backpack at him. And she's like, let's go. Uh, which is heartwarming because the scene before that, prior to that, was with Joel and Ellie, and he basically is like, "You're not my kid. I don't care about you." Like he's a total dickwad to her. And he's like, "You're going with my brother," and that's the end of the story. And just kind of like storms out of the room, and it's super sad.
Yeah.
Um, but then the next morning, he's like, "Well, you can come with me if you want," and she's like, "Yeah, let's go." They go to Denver. They find signs that have little fireflies spray painted on them. I assume that's from the game.
I'm assuming, but I know that Nicole plays Zelda. Have you noticed that the firefly symbol looks a lot like the symbol for Hyrule from Zelda, The Legend of Zelda?
I did not notice that, no.
That's all I see when I when I see
Really?
the symbol. I'm like, oh, so we're gonna
I th
smash random
See,
clay pots for some rupees?
well, kind
Yeah.
of like I thought it was weird because they don't look like fireflies. They look like dragonflies. The like stencil or whatever they use
Yeah.
to like spray paint it. Like it doesn't look like a firefly at all. Fucking dumbasses. But uh
It's the apocalypse. They don't know
yeah,
what fireflies look like,
yeah, yeah.
even though
That's funny.
books existed before the apocalypse. But no, tomato, potato.
It's my favorite thing to say lately. Um, so they go look at, I mean, it's, you get a bad vibe right away. Like, them rolling in there. It's like a deserted, like, ghost town.
Yeah,
Like a
it's a
city,
old
basically.
college campus.
College campus, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of cool. There's, like, some little monkeys running around, which
Yeah.
kind of, like, fucks with you a little bit because you hear noises, and they're like, oh, God, there's something in here, but it's the little monkey banging some pots around.
Yeah.
Um,
They even make a joke. They're like, "Oh, at least it wasn't a clicker."
yeah.
Like, yeah, that's right.
And then they find a map which shows where the fireflies probably went rather than where they are, which was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Um,
Now it looks like they've moved further north to Salt Lake City.
Utah.
Hmm. Land of polygamy. I mean,
Yeah.
opportunity.
And then they hear some noises outside, and there's actual people like walking around the town. And Joel's like, "Fuck, we gotta get out of here. Like, let's go back to our horsey." And something bad happens.
Something real bad happens. So they get back to the horse, and one of the Ravagers, whatever. I don't think that's what they call them, but that's Guardians of the Galaxy, the Ravagers. But basically, that's what they are. Uh,
Also, Harry Potter, isn't that what they call the?
well, there's the Death Eaters, and then there's the
No,
Snatchers.
the Snatchers.
Snatchers.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Snatchers. Anyways,
But
sorry.
yeah, they sneak up on Joel and Ellie. Ellie sees the guy coming, warns Joel because he's deaf in one ear, and he kills the dude. But he gets stabbed
Mm.
while that happens. So, like an idiot, he pulls out the. It's a broken handle from a baseball bat, like a wood baseball bat.
Is that what it was? Okay, it looked
Yeah,
like a shank or something, like a makeshift.
because the dude swings it, and
Mhm.
then Joel ducks, and it
Hits the
breaks
tree. Yep.
on the tree. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
That makes sense.
and then when they're kind of like wrestling, he must have gotten stabbed with it.
He did.
Well, yeah, he did. He did. But like an idiot, he pulls out the piece from him, and then he starts bleeding profusely.
Hmm.
And it's like rule number one: don't pull out the thing you were stabbed with,
Yeah.
because you'll bleed more.
Yeah.
Most of the
And
time,
if it's in like an
done.
organ or something like that, you want that. I don't know if those rules apply in an apocalypse where you can't get to a hospital, but
Well, it
I
still applies
assume.
to how the human body works.
Yeah. But
Hey, there's this thing lodged in you.
but also at the same time, like you're jumping on a horse and you're gonna wiggle around and that thing's still in you. It's just gonna do more damage inside of that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are in I went to school to be a paramedic. So I know that you don't pull foreign objects out. I know that. That's like you secure it. You're supposed to wrap them up so it doesn't move as little as possible until you can get them to the hospital. But if you're jumping on the back of a horse and outrunning people that are trying to kill you, I don't know what the
Three dudes
protocol
that
is
are
for
probably named Thad, Chad, and Brad. I know, I have a very douchey bro name.
that.
It's terrible.
I do want to point out the one thing. It did differ from the I almost said comic. It did differ from the game in a way where in the game, not comic, I almost said it again. Uh Joel, when he's fighting this guy, they are inside of the building and they go over the edge of the balcony, and when Joel lands, he lands on something, and it actually uh, impales him from the backside through the front, right here in his like rib cage area.
Oh, look,
So
I've been
they,
impaled.
yeah, so they changed it a little bit. He still got stabbed. In the game, it was much more of a problem. That I mean, don't get me wrong,
Huh.
a baseball bat knife to the fucking
Baseball bat
ribs
knife.
or knife. Yeah,
Wrench.
it's
Knife!
yeah, still sucks, but in the game, it
It
went
goes all the way through
here
him. Yeah.
to here. Shish kebab, shish Joel.
He's Joel paled.
Yeah,
That didn't work as well as I thought it would in my head.
it's okay.
I'm sorry. I apologize, everyone, for that bad joke. But they get on their horse, took it to the Old Town Road, and they just
You redeemed
rode.
yourself.
He rode until he couldn't no more. You know?
Just when I think you can't get any dumber. You go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
I saw it in a movie once. Everything worked out fine. No, people caught up
Yeah.
to him.
In the
Everybody
movie, they
died.
catch up with them a half mile down the road and slit their throats. It was a good one.
If you know, you know, and if you don't,
You're young.
too young for this. Uh, but they're riding, and basically Joel passes out from blood loss, falls off the horse, and that's where the episode ends.
Hmm.
Oh,
And the preview for next week is a flashback episode. So we won't know what happens to Joel for 2 weeks.
we might kind of like what we did, kind of like what we got in episode 3, where most
Yeah.
of it was a flashback, but there
And
is
like the very end of it.
yeah, we might get some of that. Oh, we don't know, but
I'm putting my I think that girl knows Ellie. And I think this episode next week is gonna show how she knows Ellie. And I
yeah,
think that's gonna be bad.
yeah. I'm intrigued by your theory.
Hmm.
My theory is that Tommy followed Joel and Ellie, and
Well,
he's
yeah,
gonna be
I
the
think
one
that too.
to
Yeah.
save them. Not as important of a theory.
I think so because she's a teenager. They're
And
in the
she
middle
was
of nowhere.
even like
She's
crying. She's
too
like,
little
I
to
can't
like
do this without you.
yeah.
Like,
She's too little to like pick him up and put him on the horse.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I'm not that's not even being a dick. I'm just saying
like,
she's a
yeah. She's a
little kid.
14-year-old
He's
child.
probably like 180-pound fucking guy,
Yeah,
you know? I
and
could
to
barely
put
do
it
that.
and to put it on a horse that she can't get on
Like over
without.
her head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she needs
like
him to boost her onto it because it's
she
oh,
could just tie a rope around his legs and fucking drag his ass.
along the
I mean,
train
if she built
along the
like
train tracks. Just
I was gonna say if she put like a sled, make him real comfortable, like, you know.
yeah,
I don't know. I haven't played the game, so I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
yeah. I think that Tommy followed them because when Joel asked Tommy to take Ellie, like he told him, like she's immune.
Hmm.
Like we're
She's
taking,
important.
yeah, like
Yeah.
we are trying to meet up with the Fireflies because they have a medical research center where they're trying to work on a vaccine, and she's the key.
Yeah.
And Tommy, knowing that he's about to be a father, you know, trying to like have a life in this post-apocalyptic world,
Hmm.
like it was like he didn't even hesitate
Yeah.
to be like, yeah, we'll leave at dawn.
Hmm.
And so I think that even though Joel took Ellie, Tommy is going to remember the conversation of he said that he doesn't feel confident to be able to protect her. He can't hear. He's older. He's in pain. He's suffering with anxiety and all this stuff. Like,
Oh yeah, that's a big thing in this episode. Is the
yeah,
panic attacks.
yeah, he has two
He's
of
having
them.
like panic attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, "Is it your heart? What's going on? What? What?" Just making it worse. And he's like, "Fucking, just leave me alone. Like, you're making it worse."
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm gonna punch you in the face. I'm fine.
Saturday,
I did that. I did that on purpose. Yeah, we're not gonna get into that here, though.
But that is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see where this goes.
Hmm.
We're 6 episodes in. There's
only 3
three
left.
more left. Do you have? We've obviously almost every week. It's just been pro after pro after pro as to why we love the show so much. Do you have any cons for this past week's episode?
No. I don't have anything bad to say about the show at all. It's so good.
Yeah.
Do you?
No.
Oh, I was like, did we
Like
talk about it, Con?
no. It's blank on our notes.
Yeah.
Like episode 4-ish.
Oh,
Um,
we did. Oh, sorry. You keep going. My bad.
I started to like have it wasn't really a con, it was just like a because I know that in the game the infected are play a little bit of a bigger role, but they're more just like random encounters as you're like trying to survive. And I was like, oh, there's not a whole lot of affected. But then when I really like thought about it, I was like, that's not the point of the show. The the infected are just like a it's almost like a side story. It's
I assume we'll get something pretty crazy in the last like 2 episodes.
Yeah, because we're supposed to get something that was just a concept for the game that never made it into the game. And I think the reason why there's not a whole lot of cons because most of the time, game adaptations into live action, the movie Dune, the Halo series, like they've got cool moments, but like they usually don't hold up to the game. I think the reason why this works so well is because
They're staying true.
well, because one of the head writers, the co-writers of the show, was the co-writer and co-creator of the game.
Yeah.
So like, it's just they're just making tweaks to translate it better for TV, not making shit up and changing things and stuff like that.
Just for fun, not the 2 episodes ago when we saw the giant, what do they call it?
The
Clicker?
bloater,
But the bloater,
yeah,
that is not CGI. That is a person in a suit.
really,
Really, really.
that's
It's like
big
it's
dude.
it's like a 7 foot tall or 7'6" or something like that. Silicone fucking suit. It's not CGI.
That is wild because I knew
Yeah.
I knew that for the infected and especially the clickers that those aren't CGI. Like they hired
Yeah.
acrobats and like motion capture actors to do all that
Dick
stuff.
Grayson. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind
The
of
flying Graysons, if you will.
yeah.
They didn't fly so well.
R.I.P.
Still funny.
It's still funny. Fuck. I didn't know that the bloater wasn't CGI either.
I just saw the thing the other day.
Yeah, that's so
Oh, yeah.
cool.
They showed like the makeup people, and it's literally just a guy in a suit.
That's
Just a
so...
suit, isn't it?
It's a suit. A suitcase?
Yeah.
Casing?
It's a briefcase, isn't it? But yeah, I just thought that was cool. So
That is really cool.
Mhm.
I love the show.
I love that. I feel like you lose cool effects with CGI. I get that technology is like really cool right now, and you can CGI a lot of shit. And we have in past episodes been like, why didn't you just CGI it? That shit looked stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but in cases like this, it is cool to see that, special effects are not made by a computer all the time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it adds an element to like the fear also of like the actors because they're really running from those creatures.
Yeah. It's not like a guy in a green suit with a fucking ball on top of his head.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to look at the ball and be scared of the ball.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Squeaky, 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 squeaky. Like, yeah, it's
the show is great. We love it. Watch it if you're not watching it. If you're not watching it and you're still listening, sorry, I'm not sorry.
yeah. You had your chance to walk away.
Yeah. I give you 5 seconds.
Twice.
That's 10.
I said it 4 times. I didn't want salmon. Full circle. Back to Step Brothers. We're good. We're good at this. We
Son
are
of a
what
bitch.
people would call professionals.
Yeah. And we're funny, damn it.
We are funny. I don't have anything on my wall to prove that I'm a professional.
How much would it cost to get like an 8x10 sticker of the stickers we have that say we're funny, damn it.
Probably not that expensive.
I want one. It's going right there.
We're funny, damn it. I'll look into it.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry listeners.
I'm
Go
not.
watch this show. Please go watch this show. It's so good. It's game accurate mostly. Pedro Pascal. Oh,
Come
that's
on.
what I was gonna say. You told me about it. We apologize, and we did it again this week, and it's because I didn't remember until just now. Bella Ramsey, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Is non-binary,
Yes,
and
that
we've been
you're
calling.
been using she, her pronouns,
Yeah.
and we are
Mhm.
very sorry.
Yep. We didn't
Um,
know. We just found out, so
Yeah,
we will fix that.
and
And I didn't remember
we
until
forgot
just
to
now,
touch
so
base about that
yeah.
at the start of the episode. Ellie in the show and in the game identifies as a girl, goes by she. But when we're actually talking about like Bella Ramsey as the actor, we should be using their preferred pronouns, and we are sorry about that. Thank you
Yep.
for bringing that back up because that's something that we needed to address because we messed up, and that's just disrespectful. So
Not intentionally disrespectful. We just
right,
didn't know, and
right.
will
We
correct
didn't
it going
we didn't
forward
know at first, and we forgot to bring that up, and we still made the mistake
this week.
this
I
week.
literally just remembered it like 5 minutes ago, and then we
Yeah,
started talking, and I lost it, and I was like, I was gonna say something.
yeah,
I don't remember what it was. And I was like, oh shit,
yeah.
there, I remember. So yeah,
Also, from the first episode to now, I think that we have 1,000% got on board with Bella's portrayal of Ellie.
yes, yep. I
It's
think
not
we
that we were ever against their portrayal.
Nope.
It was just that we really liked the actress that played Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
Joel's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But
I thought it was
as
just
the show has gone on,
yeah,
we've learned more about Ellie, and
yeah.
Bella's just been killing
That
it from the start.
I still think that the swear words are super forced. They just sound
I feel
so
like it's
like
gotten a little bit better, but I
yeah.
think also, it's a 14-year-old girl swearing,
Mm-hmm.
just a teenager in general swearing.
Yeah.
It isn't a part of, like, for us, we throw the word fuck around, and it's not like we're not going to throw the word fuck around, like, it's just become part of our vernacular. And for a teenager, it's
Not yeah.
because growing up, most times you'd be like, don't say those words, that's a bad word.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the only really thing when it came to dialogue. It was like, feels
Yeah.
very
Oh, yeah.
forced when they swear, but
Yeah.
besides the point.
Yep. Great show.
Yeah,
We love it.
and
Watch it.
we are going to go ahead and close out this episode.
But before we close out this episode, we are going to talk about our honorable mentions. Chad, what do you got?
Well, I'm really gonna live
Oh,
up.
I've seen that one.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm gonna live up to my Chad name of just bro. I started watching Full Swing on Netflix. It's a documentary series about golf. But it's actually really interesting because the like the PGA has existed for 100 and fucking ever years. But there's a new thing called Live Golf, LIV, and it's backed by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and there's a lot of controversy around it, and it kind of follows uh, the PGA Tour and some of the pros that have left that to go and play for the Live Golf Tour, and it's really interesting. But that, and then also Shrinking. I mean, it's coming out each week. I talked about Mythic Quest last week, and I finished that, so it's all enjoyable. So God, what about you?
Not much over here. We are watching. It's probably my second or third time. Second time through Modern Family. Nicole has never seen it, so we're watching that right now. It's very funny. I love the show. I know you recently watched it
Yeah,
from beginning to end. Um, Other than that, well, Shrinking as well. We're watching that one
God,
together,
it's
kind of.
so good.
Um, but yeah, it's been a busy week over here. With moving stuff out, helping friends move, and other stuff that we're not talking about right now. So I haven't had much time to sit in front of the TV. But
Understandable.
we'll be there soon. I'll have some. I'll have at least something for you guys next week.
Yay!
Yeah, I like judging up my like older movies that like that I love the honorable mentions because there are like so many movies that like I've seen so many movies and I love rewatching them, especially like when Nicole hasn't seen one and I'm just like, "Whoa, we're fucking watching that."
Yeah.
You know? Like and then I love bringing it up on here because there are probably some people in our fan base that also haven't seen those movies. So it's cool to like, or TV shows, to like talk about those and be like, hey, if you haven't seen this, and then maybe people are like, I've heard of it. I just didn't know if it was good or not. And then we can be like, it's fucking good.
Yeah, it's
And then
real
maybe
good.
you'll go watch it. Like I like this little segment we started doing here. I
Yeah.
enjoy it. I am upset that I don't have anything for you guys this week, unfortunately. I will have something next week, I
Yeah, you've
promise.
just been busy. It's fine. Look
Yeah.
at you, just like having
I
sponsorabilities.
I did find out that Nicole has not seen Borat, so it's
What?
potentially my honorable mention next week
She'll
is
never get this. She'll never get this.
because
And
and
one day,
this is
she
why
gets this.
her cousin cousin their dog's name is Bilo, and I was like, why Bilo? And her aunt was like, well, from the movie Borat, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious. The dog's name is Bilo because of Borat, and she's like, yeah, because like break of the cage, and I was like, no way, that's why the dog's name is that. And I was like, that's fucking hilarious. And I look at Nicole and I'm like, you've seen Borat, right? And she's like, I don't think so. And I'm like, we're
You don't
watching
think
it.
so? Like you would know
Yeah.
with a
So
movie that obnoxious and out there. Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
Well,
Anyways,
outside of our honorable mentions and honorable mentions to come, uh, Jake, what should people do?
give us your money so we can be better.
Yeah. If you like what we're doing, you want to support us, you can always go to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd, where you can subscribe for a monthly amount, ranging from $5 and up. Um,
Your monthly subscription, you get something for it.
yeah, you get
It's not just you giving us money, like you get
behind the
like
scenes,
yeah.
exclusive merch, uh, things like that. And we also don't get any of that money. I mean, technically we do, but then we put it right back into the show.
We have not profited
Yeah,
from
we
this
we
pod.
haven't taken.
No, not one red cent has gone into our pockets
Yeah,
for this
it all
podcast.
goes right back into
So
what we do for.
do it. Yeah, it's kind of sucks right now because it's winter and then you weren't living here. But like when we were doing cool shit like in the same room, we want to do more stuff like that, but we got to spend money to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you guys like that and our live streams and stuff like that, help us out. Help a brother out.
Give it back.
Yeah.
Give it back. We should have a live stream coming soon. We haven't picked a date yet. We're a couple months behind on it. From our collaboration with Battle of the Sketches. We just haven't found a date to make it happen, but we will soon. And your money can help that. Yay. If you don't want to give on a monthly basis, though, you can always just go to allthingsnerdpodcast.com, buy stuff from our merch store. It's, then it's just like a one-time, here's my money. And you still get something from it.
If you buy any of our stuff, like, take a picture and tag us in it, and we will share it and,
and
we'll all
shout
get
you
famous
out.
together.
And, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a collaboration. So, like communism? No. No, actually, it's exactly like communism. We're a commune. That's from The Last of Us this past week.
Yeah.
It's just a funny line. Because then Gabriel Luna's like, huh? I'm a communist? Outside of that, I mean, if you don't want to give us your money, but you still like what we're doing, like, share, subscribe, tell people about us. All those things. It really does help. I know it sounds super like contrived and lame to be like, oh, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. But the more thumbs up we get on YouTube, the more people see it, and then maybe they'll give us their money, and you still played your part, and we get to give you better content, better episodes, better guests, better giveaways, because we love doing giveaways. That's about it. We love you guys so much.
We do. Can't do this without you guys. I mean, we could, but it would not be as fun. So,
yeah. So
we love you guys.
Love you so much. And Jake, you can bring it in.
Bring it out.
Bring it. Yeah. Bring it
Bring
home.
it out. Take it out.
Uh-huh.
This has been the All Things Nerd podcast.
Tink.